How y'all doing today? The Strategist here. Um, Bringing you another video. Just gonna shoot the shit real quick. Um, on different things. So I wanted to just make a video talking about why I personally think Tekken 7 is the worst Tekken game in the series. And I put my background there just because I don't have any gameplay for it because I never recorded any gameplay. So we're just gonna go on YouTube and we're going to look at a couple of things. And what inspired me to look at this was the new announcement for the new characters that are going to be joining Tekken 7's Season 3. And I'm just gonna put that video up and just gonna talk over it. And it inspired me to want to make this video just to detail why I personally feel and think that Tekken 7 is the worst Tekken game in the series. So I'm just gonna kind of put the audio on low, and we're gonna crank this up to 1080p. Hopefully it can handle, my internet can handle it. It doesn't skip any frames. See, I'm just gonna turn this down a little bit. Yeah. Alright. So let's talk about it. So they revealed Zafina, and they revealed this, I guess, a new character named Leroy Smith. So he's apparently like some sort of martial artist or some shit. This game is, in my opinion, the worst Tekken game in the series. And the reason why I say that is because, for one, you see an example of this in this video. This game essentially took the Street Fighter formula and developed it into I guess you could say formula for Tekken. So they made the way how Street Fighter from Street Fighter with Street Fighter 5 was done this generation. They essentially did that with Tekken 7. You know, charging you for DLC characters or legacy characters that were in the last 3 games. You know, from things from all the different mechanics that they introduced to you know, charging you for Tekken Bowl and all that shit. You know, there's just a lot of things about this game that we're gonna talk about it. So, you know, see, they added Zafina. She's looking sexy and she's looking real cute. You know, I'm glad they added her back, but I won't be supporting it because you know what I'm saying. I don't like the game, and secondly, I don't condone charging us for characters that we had previously in the last 2 games for free. Okay, so let's talk about it. This is the worst game in the series, and the reason why I say this is the worst game in the series is a couple of things. For one, this is the only Tekken game in the series to not have a special mode. So you know how in Tekken 5 they had, you know, the mode where you could play as Jin. You know, where you could play as Jin. I forgot the name of it, but there was like a mode where you could play as Jin, right? And they don't have anything like that in this game. They added it later with Tekken Bowl, right? But they don't have anything like Tekken Force mode or scenario campaign mode with the beat 'em up bouncer style, you know, Tekken Force style gameplay. They don't have anything like, you know what I'm saying, Tekken Ball. There's no special modes for you to play. You know what I'm saying? and that's the problem. Um, that's one of the issues. There's no special mode. They charged you for a special mode. They charged you for the Tekken Bowl, which was already in Tekken Tag 1. So they charged you for a mode that was already there. And they didn't even introduce a new game, special game mode. Okay, yeah, let's just, I don't know. Forget it. Let's just, no, don't worry about that. Trying to exit out of this. Anyway, yeah, so Tekken 7 doesn't have a special game mode outside of what they charge you with the DLC. There's nothing inherently that comes with the game that's special. Okay? So that's one issue that I have with the game. Another issue that I have is that this Tekken 7 doesn't add anything. Let me go back to the desktop. Tekken 7 doesn't add anything in terms of the overall series that benefits the games in the long run going forward. Previous Tekken games would have it where when they introduce new things, new mechanics, new tools to bring into the fight, they actually added some sort of depth or some sort of positive going forward into the series. So you had in Tekken 5 you had crushes, you know? In Tekken 4 you had wall teching, you had position switching, you had intros, you had actual, cinematic intros that they introduced into Tekken 4. Tekken 3 brought in a whole host of different things. Tekken 6 introduced low parrying. You know what I'm saying? And a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't remember right now. But the point is that Tekken, the previous Tekken games introduced things that the other Tekken games, a previous Tekken game didn't have before, that made things better, are in some way contributed to the betterment of the series as a whole. In my honest opinion, Tekken 7 doesn't have and has not introduced anything that benefits the series as a whole, the series formula as a whole. There's nothing that's in the game that benefits again, the series going forward. Everything that was introduced in this game is to the detriment of the formula, the overall core formula that Tekken has and has had since Tekken 5. You see what I'm saying? It's a detriment. Everything that this game does literally makes the game borderline unplayable. Borderline, it's just worse than it already, I guess, is set out to be. You know what I mean? And it's just things like rage arts, rage drives, armor, nerfing sidesteps, nerfing movement. The movement is the worst movement in the Tekken history in Tekken 7. It's the worst movement ever. Terrible. The movement sucks. You get hit by everything because the movement is so bad. The movement is horrendous in Tekken 7. Okay? Sidesteps are terrible. The only thing they kind of made a little bit better was waking up, because now instead of rolling back like you used to, you can just get up like normally. That's the only thing they fixed, was the back roll wake up, so you want to just get fucking teched right after you back rolled. But everything else was, I feel like, a really, really bad addition to a game series that was already that was already crumbling. With Tekken 6. But at least Tekken 6 felt genuine. And in my honest opinion, Tekken 7 does not feel like a genuine Tekken game. It doesn't feel like a genuine Tekken game. Just the combos, the attacks, the movement. Something about this game just feels so unnatural compared to Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag 2 and Tekken 5. Those games felt genuine. Honestly, playing this game, playing Tekken 7, when I was playing it, because I haven't been playing. I've been playing it recently because a friend of mine wanted to get back and play it, but I don't play this game. I've never liked this game since release. I've always thought it was a bad game. But anyway, that's besides the point. I don't want to make too long of a video, but I'm trying to get my points across. But another thing is that this game was watered down and casualized for I don't know who. I don't know who they were trying to cater to, but it's watered down and casualized. Everything about this game, from the juggles to the execution, the gameplay, has been tweaked in favor of weaker players, non-gamers, casual gamers, people who don't want to learn how to play the core of Tekken, and are too, I guess you could say, overwhelmed by everything that you have to understand. And it's not that hard. You just have to play it a lot. That's what getting good or getting better at a fighting game is. You have to play it a lot. You have to learn from people who took the time and the effort to be good, right? You have to learn from your mistakes, and you have to learn from different matchups, different characters. You have to learn, is what I'm trying to say. In this game, I honestly don't think that it really rewards talent. It doesn't reward hard work. It doesn't reward effort because of all the idiotic mechanics that they've added in this game. Wall bouncing in a fucking Tekken game. I mean, why? You know what I mean? Wall bouncing, things like one button rage arts that have armor on them. So if you're attacking somebody, you're punishing them, you can't interrupt their rage art. You are going to get hit by their rage art regardless. And you don't have to put in the combination to do the move. You can hit R1 and you can still get it. So things like that are really, in my opinion, just destructive to the overall experience. As well as making it easier to break grabs. So now somebody could just be button mashing 1 and 2, and then they could break grabs easier. What was wrong with back, back in 1+2? What was wrong with that? There was nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You just had to know when, because you're holding back anyway, most of the time. So, what was wrong with that? Why make the grabs easier to break? It just, it just defeats the tension and that skill gap. It closes in that skill gap. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that you really need to learn if you want to constantly win, is how to break throws and when to do throws. And they essentially dismantle that whole process by making it where two buttons, all a person got to do is have their hands on the two buttons the whole time. And normally they would if they're trying to poke. And bam, they can always break them throws. So they made breaking throws easier. Don't know why. They made juggling easier. You know what I'm saying? And by making juggling in Tekken easier, you're essentially taking away half the fun away from the game. Because they made the juggling easier, it's more simplistic. Per character, it's more simplistic. So all the characters are homogenized. Lee, Raven, Miguel, they're all homogenized. Characters that were unique characters are all homogenized now. All play the same. All one-note characters all play the same. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So, my point is that this game mechanically is terrible, and is the worst, one of the worst mechanically. Let me get my words. This is one of the worst fighting games mechanically, because the sum of its parts are incongruent to what you actually have as mechanics presentable in the game. In other words, a 3D fighter shouldn't have this shit in it, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? It's a fucking problem. I honestly do not understand why so many people praise this game. They even go as far as to say this is the best Tekken game in the series, which is crazy. And I feel like anybody that's an enthusiast, that's a hardcore fan like me of this series, they will hate this game. And I hate this game. This is the worst fucking Tekken game ever made. Not to mention the fact they took out replays. Why are replays not in the game? There's no replays. You know? There's no announcer saying the name of the character who won. You know, when you win, you know, remember they used to be like, Jin Kazama wins, or Li Shaolan wins. You know, they don't even say that. It's just you win. It's like, what the fuck? You know, just polish. The polish is not there. Not to mention the fact you shouldn't even take this game seriously, because they have 2D characters in a 3D fighting game. I mean, just what madness is this? Guest characters in a fucking Tekken game that don't even make sense. You know, Geese, Akuma, Eliza. Who else? Yeah, I think those are all the 2D characters. 2D characters in a fucking 3D fighting game. You see, do you understand what I'm saying now? Goofy shit like that. 2D fucking characters with projectiles in a 3D fighting game where most of the cast don't even have projectiles nor any of the same speed and poking ability that those 2D characters have. It's retarded. It's retarded. This is the worst fucking Tekken game in history. In all the Tekken games that ever came out. Maybe aside from Revolution. Revolution is its own isolated thing. But this is the worst Tekken game ever made. Everything that this game does, other Tekken games did better. Let's move on into the new characters. Okay? New characters in Tekken 7. Most of the new characters are clones or reskin of characters that you had in Tekken prior. So let's look at Josie. She's just Bruce. An easier, simpler version of Bruce. Master Raven. A female clone of Raven. Gigas. Beta prototype Marduk. Lucky Chloe, which I think is like a mixture of Eddie and Christy. The only characters that are actually unique in this game that are new are Katarina and Claudio. And I just want to say this. None of those characters I just named add anything to Tekken as an experience, right, going forward, are in this game. You remember when you used to get new characters in Tekken, they actually used to enhance the experience of the game? Raven, Feng, not Oscar, because Oscar's a clone of Jun, but Raven, Fang, even Lars, Leo, Miguel. Like the Tekken 6 cast brought something new. You know what I'm saying? At least I can say brought something new to the table in terms of just character playability, and just in terms of enjoying Tekken as a whole. Tekken 4 with Marduk and Steve. You know what I'm saying? Tekken 3 with Jin and Brian and you know what I'm saying? Tekken 2 with Lei and Bruce. The old Tekken games were bringing in new characters that actually added something to the experience of Tekken. None of these characters in Tekken 7 do that. None of them. None of them stand out like a Brian did, or like Bruce did, or like Lei did, or like Feng Wei did. None of them stand out. None. In terms of fighting style, in terms of just overall aesthetic, none of them stand out. And none of them do anything for Tekken as an experience. Half the fucking new characters, most of the new characters are reskins and revamped versions of characters you had in the prior games. So that's a problem. That's a fucking issue. How are people not seeing this? And then they have the gall. Bandai Namco has the audacity to go back and charge you for characters you already own on the previous games. Because I know many of you still have your old copies of Tekken 6 and I still do. I have all the old Tekken games. I have all of them. And they have the audacity to go back and charge you for characters that you already had in the last fucking game. Armor King. Anna. Lei. Okay. Now, who else? Marduk. Okay. Is there anybody I'm missing? And now they're adding. Oh, and Julia. So they're giving you characters. They have it where you gotta buy back characters you already had in the last game and in the last 2 games for free. Characters you already know how to play. Most of you probably who respective to these characters. Yeah, these are characters you already know about. They're not even new characters, and they're charging you money. They're charging you money to play characters you already play. I mean, let's go to Steam. Let's go to Steam. I'm gonna bring up some more points, but let's go to Steam. Look at this shit. They're charging you, and now they're charging you for Zafina, a character you already had in Tekken 6 and Tag 2. Let's look at this. Okay, apparently shit wants to be fucking up on me. But yeah. I mean, look at this shit. Look at this. Armor King. Lei Wulong. Anna. Craig Marduk. Julia Chang. How much is this shit? $6. Now you can get it for $3 right now. Because it's Evo weekend. But $6 for a character you already owned. $6. So that's 6, 12, 18, 24. Okay? You see what I'm saying? 30. $30. If you want to get that season pass, well, again, it's on sale right now. So those of you that play this bullshit, you can pick it up right now, and you know what I'm saying, for $15. But $30. $30. And a season pass too. So You have a Season Pass 1, Season Pass 2. So it's not even a Season Pass. They're charging you, and they're going to charge you a third time for Season Pass 3. None of this was in the previous Tekken games. Tag 2, Tekken 6. No, there was no DLC. And all the DLC that was there was free. Tekken 6 was a complete game. Okay? You just seen that. What the fuck is that? They're charging y'all season passes for characters and shit you already had. It's insane. Story mode is terrible. It's the worst story mode I've ever played in a fighting game. It's like 2 hours long, and they put Akuma as a main story pillar in the game, and it just goes to show you the people that are directing and producing this game are complete idiots. They have to be, because anybody who has respect for fans, anybody that has respect for their property, doesn't do something like that and put them in the canon of the fucking game, because Akuma is not going to be in the next Tekken game. So it makes zero sense. No one uses him online either. I doubt anybody uses him in tournaments. But he's in the game. He's in the story. This shit could have never happened on the PlayStation 2 or PS1. People would have fucking been like, what the fuck is this shit? Gamers don't stand for anything anymore. They don't. You know what I'm saying? They really don't stand for anything. I mean, what else can we say? I'm pretty sure there's more things I'm trying to remember right now. Oh yeah, a lack of offline modes. So there's no, at least I don't think there's no survival. There's no time attack. There's no team battle. They replaced Ghost Battle with fucking Treasure Battle. Like, what's the point of Treasure Battle? Why not just make all the items purchasable from the get-go? That's the whole point of having fight money. Not to mention that customization is overall inferior in just about every way compared to Tekken 6. You didn't have no treasure battle. You need treasure battle in that game. You just unlocked it by way of money. You know, they have ruined one of my favorite fighting game series of all time and turned it into a shell of its former self. Even the gameplay. I do not like the gameplay in this game. I hate this game's gameplay. It's the worst fucking playing Tekken game in the series. Terrible music. There's maybe about a few stages that I think have some pretty good music, like the volcano stage and the, I think, Infinite Azure. Those are the only two ones that have really memorable music. Other than that, okay, none of the this all this dubstep techno garbage. Shit's terrible. The music is horrible in Tekken 7. It's so bad they had to up the game to change it. You see what I'm saying? Later on. You know, so just a lot of the different qualities. The stages are forgettable. Stages are forgettable. There's nothing memorable about Tekken 7's stage design. Nothing. Tekken 4, you had airport. You had jungle. Standout stages. Tekken 5, wait, what did they do? They brought back Dragon's Nest. That's showing you these niggas have no ideas. They had to bring back a fucking level from Tekken 5. I don't think they did that in Tekken 6. They didn't have to bring back levels in previous Tekken games. Most of the time they didn't. But they brought back levels in this game. Why is Dragon Nest back in Tekken 7? You telling me they couldn't come up with other fucking levels? Levels in this game are terrible. And they're forgettable. And they're small as shit. They're extremely tiny. Remember with Tekken 4 how big those levels were? Fucking airport. You could fucking scroll. That shit was huge. Till this day, I still think that Tekken 4 had the best stage design in any Tekken game. How big those stages were. Especially airport. Fucking love airport. You know what I mean? But I mean, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. People really consider this the best Tekken in the series and one of the best fighting games out. That goes to show you how bad in a state, how terribly designed these fighting games are now. How fast people are dropping them. If they're playing this bullshit that I have on the screen, this is just a wallpaper. They're playing this bullshit and saying that this is the best game out in terms of fighters. What are they doing? What are they doing? These people cannot replicate what they were doing in the past. And that goes for Street Fighter. That goes for DOA. Soul Calibur. I actually like Soul Calibur 6. I played that. I definitely prefer that over this. Oh, there's a couple of things like they have one button specials or finishers in that game, which is fucking dumb. One button finishers are stupid. I don't know why they put that shit in the game. The point of a finisher is for it to be hard to do. Why is there one button R1 save your life, one button finishers? It's beyond me. Not to mention the fact that this game feels a lot more button mashy than Tag 2 did and Tekken 6 did. I feel like there's legit times where I was, because I'm a fairly competent player. You know what I'm saying? I've been playing these games for a long time. I'm a fairly competent Tekken player. My highest rank online, I think, was like Overlord. Unranked at least. With Anna. And that's a character that I just picked up. So, that was my highest rank. And there'll be times where I'll just literally kind of like not do the precise move I was supposed to do, but I'm kind of like button mashing and I'm doing different things. I'm just doing all kind of crazy shit. And I'll still get the win. Somehow. Because you don't have to be concise. The game is literally programmed, designed in its entirety to be that way. Okay? So, I mean, to me, that's just personally what I feel. I feel like Tag 2 was a better game, and I feel like Tekken 6 was way better. Tekken 5 was way better. All three of those games are better than this shit. This shit's trash. Alright? So, I don't know if there's other points that I want to bring up. But I just wanted to make this video for it to be kind of a rant. Me talking about Tekken 7 and how much I fucking hate it. I hate this game so much. It is the worst fucking Tekken in the series. It's essentially Tekken Revolution with better visuals. It sucks. Fuck this game. Okay? Not to mention, another thing I just forgot. They have these moves that you can do in the game where you can hold L1. For those of you on PlayStation who's using a pad, you can hold L1. I have this on Steam too, so but I use my PS4 controller. But when you're using a pad, right, You can hold L1 and do 4 moves from the character's arsenal. Now, what's the problem with this? You might ask. The problem is that all you have to do is hold one button and then hold another button, and you get access to 4 of the character's best moves in the game at any given time. There's no movement, there's no execution, nothing. L1, square, triangle, circle, or X. You can do it in battle too, by the way, on ranked. It's ridiculous. So you can hit that move at any time. There's no need for you to actually properly position the move, actually do it. It's automated. L1, square, bam. We get some random one of the best moves the character has. It's ridiculous. I mean, just shit like that. But that was my little rant video. It's a strategist. As soon as this bullshit loads up, I'm gonna be checking out. If you guys like the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. Whatever. Whenever, wherever. But the strategist is here, and the strategist is out.